Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick, the town's own news and information program. Tonight we'll see highlights from the long-awaited graduation ceremony for East Brunswick's class of '94. Also, the latest information on the Crystal Springs Aquatic Center from the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Services, Judith Lebline. Also, former Met Keith Hernandez was in town last week, and a review of last week's Township Council meeting. This and more coming up, but first, a look at programming next week on Channel 8. Remember, the library will be closed Monday, July 4th, and there will be no Monday morning cablecast. Starting off Tuesday evening at 7 p.m., it's Just Kidding, the show for and about kids. At 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, it's information about estate planning on You and Your Money, hosted by Paul Hansen. Followed by Exercise the Right Choice at 8 p.m. Wednesday evening at 7, Get in Shape with Lenore Kulik on Look Great, Feel Great. At 7:30, Superintendent Dr. John Kopko looks at the programs for gifted and talented students with Supervisor Tom Smith. And at 8 p.m., tune in to Teen TV. This Week in East Brunswick will be back next Thursday at 7 and 8 p.m., and at 7:30, watch Phenomenal Progress, a program presented by the Human Potential Action Committee. Be sure to watch the Channel 8 Community Bulletin Board for announcements and our programming schedule for all of our shows. The day they thought might never come finally did for the class of '94. Graduation. Originally, it was scheduled for the 20th, one of the earliest dismissals in years, but then came the snow. Not just one storm, but 17 this past winter. So the date was moved back to the 27th or possibly later, which would have meant losing the use of the Lewis Brown Athletic Center on the Rutgers campus and graduating outdoors on the high school's J. Doyle Field. So after canceling a few teacher workshops and scheduled holidays, the date was set for last Friday at 2 p.m. in the Lewis Brown Athletic Center. But Mother Nature was not through with the class of 1994. As they marched to pomp and circumstance, temperatures inside the gym reached well into the 90s. Once in place, Student Council President Daniel Semple led the class with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the National Anthem and Alma Mater performed by the high school band and chorus, setting the stage for Class President Andrea Olin to give the farewell address.
Although we could take comfort in our shared high school experience, we understand that we must branch out into our separate lives. We must release from the safety net that East Brunswick High School has provided and bravely confront the new experiences and challenges of a world that may not be quite ready for us. It is time to prove ourselves to those who have taught us, to those who have encouraged us, and to those who have hoped for us. Now, our parents and teachers will proudly watch the children they nurtured and educated move one step closer towards adulthood. Learning to adapt and thrive independently will certainly be accompanied by obstacles along the way, but I am confident that we have been well prepared for the journey. And so, before we all leave for our boundless flights towards success and happiness, class of 1994, I bid you goodbye for now and wish you good luck forever.
We have been taught throughout our school careers how to prepare ourselves for the world in which we will live. We have been taught that everything is an experience from which we can learn, that our society is basically good, that hard work is always rewarded. The truth, however, is far more ambiguous. In fact, the world we live in is full of contradictions. We are told that we can learn from our mistakes and gain valuable insight from them, yet the consequences of a wrong decision can often be catastrophic, and any wisdom gained may come too late. And if our society is truly a meritocracy, why do some hardworking individuals live in poverty, while celebrities and athletes can earn millions of dollars each year? However, I do not intend to paint a picture of a world that is entirely bleak. There are strategies for success in our society, the first and most important of which is to accept that there are laws which govern every aspect of our existence.
I hope that as you leave here, you realize that your high school career was not just a stepping stone to college, a job, or some other upcoming adventure. The notion, the foolish notion, that your life is some way station for some next stage has corrupted more young minds than Socrates ever could. I'm not telling you to ignore the future, but don't pander to it at the risk of the present. Anything worth knowing is worth knowing for its own sake. My point here is that a life without that childlike passion you find when you sing those ABCs is both empty and terrible. By passion, I mean that great love of your mind that becomes a constant presence in the love of your soul. It breaks my heart when I hear kids, good, smart kids, tell me how they plan to make a living rather than how they plan to live. The point of life is not to buy a Mercedes by the time you're 30. Money is not the root of all evil, but it's certainly not the wellspring of happiness.
And now, on behalf of the East Brunswick Board of Education, I accept the recommendation of the administration of East Brunswick High School and the school district and direct that the members of the class of 1994 be awarded their diplomas.
To see graduation in its entirety, watch tonight at 7:30 p.m., or Tuesday, July 12th at 8 p.m., or Wednesday, July 13th at 3:30 p.m.
I'm Judith Lebline, Director of Recreation Parks and Community Services, and I'm down here at Crystal Springs getting all the last-minute touches to the park. Yes, we are going to be open on the 4th of July, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., and don't forget about the big grand opening ribbon cutting at 4 p.m. I'm here to make a last-minute appeal to you to get your photographs done if you're a season pass holder. You can still get your photo done at the Recreation office from 1 to 5. If not, when you come down to Crystal Springs on the 4th, you may have some delays and may have to get your photo taken, so I really urge you to get them taken or have a small photo and bring it to the Recreation office. You can call 390-6797 to get details about that. What I really want to tell you about is the extreme sense of excitement that this town is feeling. Every department has been involved with making sure that we beat Mother Nature. You know, she sent us 17 winter storms and 4 feet of snow. It held us up, but I've never felt such a commitment from everybody in this town. We have well-wishers going by every night in the car, waving, saying, keep it up. Everybody's really excited about this. What we do hope is if you're coming on the 4th, that you come early. We hope that you carpool, because we do expect it to be very crowded. You can imagine with all this excitement and the holiday and this hot weather that we do expect crowds, but we think they'll be manageable. So we ask you to be patient. Now, there'll be a few things that may not be completely done. It's not a perfect world, but you'll be swimming, and you'll have the restrooms and the food concession, and you'll have the beautiful new gift shop, and you're going to have just a fabulous, fabulous time here. So we ask you, until we get all the bugs out, be patient with us, and you'll find you're going to really enjoy it here at Crystal Springs. I'll see you on the 4th.
Statistics show that 40% of all kids who smoke marijuana live in the city. Guess where the other 60% live? Call for a free parent's guide to drug prevention. 1-800-624-0100.
Most people associate the name Keith Hernandez with baseball, but some people don't realize that this 11-time Golden Glove Award winner is also an author. I'm Jennifer Enton, and today I'm here at Borders Bookstore in East Brunswick with Keith Hernandez, here to talk about his new book, Pure Baseball. Hi, Keith. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Tell me a little bit about your book.
Well, it's 2 games, pitch by pitch, and it's written as if the reader is sitting at the ballpark with me and getting my expertise and my 17 years experience and talking about the game as it evolves.
What motivated you to first write a book like this?
It wasn't my idea. It was Harper Collins, my editor, Wendy Wolf, who's a big baseball fan, called me with the idea. And I was doing nothing at the time, so I said, why not?
I know you've written another book, If at First. How does this book differ from that one and from all other books?
Well, this book's unique. It's not your typical sports book. It's pretty much of a book for the fan. It's pure baseball, pitch by pitch for the advanced fan, and really it's for anybody that wants to learn about the game. it's more like, I think, a reader for them. People that want to get more enjoyment out of the game, I think they read the book. If they go to the park again and watch a game, they'll have a different perspective. They'll understand more of the little minor things that are going on out there that the average fan misses.
Would you say this book reflects a lot of yourself in it?
No, not at all. Not one. It's just strictly two random games that tell their own story, and I'm just commenting on them as they evolve.
Were you involved in those games?
No. It was last year in June. I've been retired 3 years now.
Since you mentioned you've been retired, what have you been doing with your time?
Well, I've been loafing, to be honest with you. I haven't done anything, but a little bit here and there. There's some things that may come around now for me. As we're talking right now in the summer of '94, hopefully some things will come about in the end of the year.
I know I read somewhere that you like reading history books. Why do you like reading history?
I always got A's in history. I always loved history, so I like to read. I didn't go to college, and I signed out of high school, so I pretty much self-learned. I've read my whole life. A lot of times I read in the road, so it just kills time, and it's a good way to learn.
Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. No, my pleasure.
If you or someone you know is unemployed, then you understand how difficult it can be to search for a new job. The state of New Jersey offered assistance to those who are job hunting through a special job search forum held Monday at the library. Sponsored by the New Jersey Department of Labor, Division of Employment Services, in cooperation with the Professional Services Group, the program provided free information to those in attendance. The forum covered information on where to go for jobs, effective resumes, interviewing techniques, and much more. East Brunswick Reference Department head Sue Keel explained what kind of job hunting resources the library makes available.
We focus on two areas vis-a-vis the employment scene. One is information about job openings, and the other is information about companies themselves, because once you find an opening, obviously you're going to be told the best way to make a positive impression to a future employer is to show interest in the company, which means that you should get some background information on the company. And we have, again, a wide array of materials to help you get that background information.
For more information about the jobs program, contact Sanford Lichtenberg at the New Jersey State Division of Employment Services at 937-6200.
At Monday night's Township Council action meeting, Mayor Ira Oskowski proclaimed July Recreation and Parks Month in the township. Director of Recreation, Parks and Community Services, Judith Lebline, accepted the proclamation.
Whereas the residents of East Brunswick have long recognized the significance of recreation, parks, sports, and leisure pursuits as an essential part of an active, healthy lifestyle. Now, whereas the Department of Recreation, Parks and Community Services and the Department of Parks Advisory Board take great pride in the scope of leisure opportunities offered to East Brunswick residents of all ages. And whereas the Department of Recreation, Parks and Community Services joins the National and New Jersey Recreation and Park Association in their promotion of the Life Be In It campaign. And whereas we also celebrate the inaugural season of Crystal Springs, New Jersey's first municipally owned family aquatic center, and that will be open on July 4th. Whereas local recreation and parks programs and the protection of our natural resources are essential to the quality of life of the citizens of our township. Now, therefore, we proclaim that I, Ira Oskowski, Mayor of the Township of East Brunswick, do hereby proclaim the month of July 1994 as Parks and Recreation Month, and urge all residents to be in it today, live more of your life.
Also at Monday's meeting, members of the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board announced and presented the Friends of Recreation and Parks Award to one local business and two very special residents.
This plaque award goes to the Olive Garden. Tom Dickerson is with us tonight. Tom, will you come up front, please? Tom and the folks at the Olive Garden, both corporate and the East Brunswick office, have been exceptional If you go to any event, you see that the Olive Garden is involved, and they do it purely from a community standpoint. And I have never gone there where Tom has not said, okay, we'll give it a try, no matter how very busy. And I'd like to read just a few of the things that the Olive Garden has done for us. They've provided sponsorship of special events by providing not only goods or cash, but also service. They actually bring people from the restaurant to come in and work, and they seem to have a good time at the macaroni art booth. They sponsor Wonderful Wednesday, Memorial Day entertainment, and many holiday events. 10K spaghetti dinner and the Daisy spaghetti dinner. Hosted a TV show on guide dogs. They provide braille menus and voice menus in their restaurants. They sponsored the Mayor's Walk for Scholarship Fund. They donated aprons for our arts and crafts programs. They provide macaroni art for Memorial Day and other recreation programs. They provided coupon giveaways at special events. They donated 12 umbrellas to Crystal Springs. And they're the official Daisy Fair sponsor, and they assist in advertisement and ticket sales. This is all in addition to other works of great charity that they do. And I have never worked with an organization that was as willing and committed as the Olive Garden, and congratulations. What's especially nice about it is that these two ladies are also good friends, and they share something tonight. They share the individual award. What I'd first like to read is why we chose Rose. Rose is co-founder and past president of the East Brunswick Garden Club. She has outstanding conservation efforts in the preservation of Jamesburg Park. Almost a one-woman dynamo on Jamesburg Park, I have to say. Active in preserving past heritage in East Brunswick through the work in the East Brunswick Historical Society, the East Brunswick Museum, and the East Brunswick Parks Commission. She's currently working with the county to purchase another 600 acres in Jamesburg Park. And she also helped to develop a nature guide and gives tours and lectures on Jamesburg Park. Rose, you are the recipient of the Individual Friend of Recreation and Parks Award. Mayor, if you would. Grace Howard. Grace, you also are winning the Individual Award of Friend of Recreation and Parks. Grace has dedicated her time, energy, and leadership, as well as historical items to the East Brunswick Museum. She's been an active member and officer in the East Brunswick Historical Society. And last but not least, a very devoted volunteer to DAISY program. Grace, congratulations.
In other council news, Mayor Oskowski reported to the council on the proposed Veterans Monument scheduled to be completed next year.
This program will cost anywhere from $100,000 to $125,000, and the goal is, as it has been in the past, for this to be completely self-supporting through East Brunswick contributions. We expect to get it with no problem at all, like we got it with no problem at all for the Great Oak Park. And this is a very, very important thing in the history of East Brunswick. And the goal is to raise sufficient amount of funds to pay for all of this for an installation date of May of 1995.
Also at the meeting, Council President Tom Clark had to table an ordinance which would provide the East Brunswick Rescue Squad with a new ambulance. The council has to issue $76,000 in bonds to purchase the vehicle. Bond ordinances require 4 votes for passage, and only Clark, Vince LeBlanc, and Joe Hudak were present at Monday night's meeting. The ordinance is expected to pass at the next council action meeting.
Welcome to the East Brunswick Senior Center. My name is Fran Galena. I'm the Director of the Department on Aging for East Brunswick. This morning is Sunday, June 26th, not a typical day at the Senior Center. We're conducting an open house today in an effort to reach all residents 60 or over and their families to let them know the good work that goes on here. In addition to the direct benefits to the seniors of East Brunswick, there are many services that are conducted by the employees of this department that benefit all the family members as well. Right now we're in our general meeting room, which can be broken down into 3 different rooms. The center has an advisory committee, and they conduct a general meeting each month. We usually have over 100 members in attendance at that time, and this room is used auditorium style. At other times, it's broken down for small classrooms. In fact, English as a second language is taught here each morning for our elderly residents. This morning, we're having a display of information and materials here in this general meeting room. We have a table of resource information which deals with Social Security and other social services available on a county and federal level, as well as explanations of the services available through the East Brunswick Department on Aging. We have volunteers present to help explain to those people who may be interested in a volunteer activity what sort of volunteer opportunities exist through the Senior Center. We will be conducting blood pressure checks this morning, which is a practice of the Senior Center. Every Monday morning, senior members can come in and have their blood pressure checked, and we keep a record on that for them. So there are many health-related services that do occur here at the Senior Center. This is our dining room. Hot lunches are served here every day. The cost per member is $1.75, and they get a well-balanced, nutritious hot meal. In addition, we have a senior meals program. Although the meals aren't provided here, our volunteers do deliver meals to homebound seniors in East Brunswick. Our lobby is set up to provide a homey atmosphere for senior members. They often gather here after lunch to read, to have a friendly conversation, to get to know one another. It's really important that there be some social interaction. Very often our elderly residents become socially isolated, and we encourage them to join in the activities of the center, get to meet people and make new friends. One of the activities that's very popular here at the center is our game room. You can usually come in any weekday and find a poker game, a pinochle game, a game of mahjong, somebody playing pool. It's a very active room. We have a lot of people who do enjoy this facility. We have a display here in one of our classrooms of the crafts work of the seniors. We have 2 classes in crafts each week, a wood carving class, and as you see from some of the art on the walls outside this room, there's an art class. The room here with Kathy Enns is an exhibit of our new program, which is the Saturday Adult Daycare Program, known as CHEER. We're hoping to provide more one-on-one service for those more frail elderly residents of East Brunswick and to provide some respite for their caregivers. Very often the family is totally responsible for the care of a frail elderly person, and we hope that this Saturday program is one way to give them a day out as well as giving the senior a day away from home.
Break a sweat.